All right, this is lab 4.6.10. It's a troubleshoot IP configuration in live lab. All right, so this is gonna be your scenario. You go ahead and pause it and read it. We're gonna go ahead and continue. Our first step, I'm gonna go ahead and expand this here. Our first step is to verify the network configuration. And here, if you go to the top left here to IT admin, you have your servers. And then even right here, because this is going to be very important, you're going to have your IP addresses and your CIDR, right? So you have your corp server, IT admin and office, and you have your app server. Okay, so we're going to want to continue. Verify that your administration laptop IT admin, which we are in, has an appropriate IP configuration for its local network. Okay, so Control Delete. A little quick tip on this: there's a few different ways you can do it. You can do a virtual keyboard. Here, you just hit Control Alt and then Delete, and that'll bring up your password thing. Or you can just hit this right here, and it automatically does it for you. All right. This is going to be the same for most of them, the password. Actually, I think all of them are. Okay, so we're in. So we go ahead and check these off as we do them. Right click, start and select terminal. Terminal. Let's go ahead and click that off. In the terminal, window type. So we can type it, or you can just click on this and hit enter. See how I put it there for us? Hit enter. If you want practice, if you're not really sure, like if you remember that, I would suggest just typing it into practice. All right, what is a host default gateway? Default gateway would be right here. Is our default gateway. If I can, there we go. So we got 10.11.2.5. Let's evaluate that. Correct. What is a host's network address? Okay, so that we need the CIDR. So we have, let me see, let's go back here, IP config/all, and it's going to give us more information. Host's network address, I mean, we have it up here already. Network address. But what we're trying to do is, where's it at? Yeah. So what we got to do is the CIDRs, the CIDR notation. So in that instance here, we have a CIDR of 24. So that's going to give us a 0 as our network. So let's go ahead and do that. .0. That should be our host net. Oh, sorry. Forgot the CIDR. Got to make sure you put that CIDR in. There we go. I'm not going to go over that too much on how I got that. By this point, if you don't know how to do it, just send me a private message and I can help you out with that. Then we got to run this in the terminal. We're still in the terminal, so we'll just go ahead and just click on that. All right. So now we have all our interfaces here. What is odd or significant about the results? Let's see. Let's look at them. Okay. Let's look at the physical addresses. This is kind of where it can get kind of a little bit cumbersome because you got to really pay attention to these numbers. Okay, so far we have 10.11.2.1 has the same physical address as the 0.5. See, they're all the same. It adds up. These two add up. I don't see anything else lining up, so that is what's odd. What is odd or significant about the results? Host dot 1 dot 2. No, it's not that one. There is no mapping. No, there are invalid addresses within 2. No. Host, there it is. 0.1 and 0.5 have the same MAC address. That should be it right there. Yes. So we're going to click that off. Next. Now we're going to run a ping test. So now that we fixed that, we should be good to get all pings satisfactory. Yep, replies. Okay. All right, so now so IP config all shows extended information. Yep. What is the IP address of the host's DNS? There's your keyword DNS. So here's your DNS, and there it is right there. That's what we got to input there, our DNS server. We'll go ahead and mark these off. Now we're going to go ahead and notice that the DNS server is a different subnet network, yet we're on .1. Alright, so I put that in twice. Let's go ahead and take that off. And I say enter. Okay, so it's able to ping a different subnet. It's able to ping a different network. I'll go ahead and click that off. This should be successful. Oh, it even says it right there. Alright, let's go ahead and ping the ISP 911. This lets us go into like remote sites to see the connectivity. Okay, we're good on that. Let's run the following ping test to observe some type of failure. Oh, so it wants us to see some failures. So, yep, destination host unreachable. Okay. Now, ping 888 is usually like a Google, so I don't know how that's going to work on here. This fails with net unreachable because no router is able to forward to that network. On the real internet, 8.8.8 is operated by Google, would be very reliable target for testing connectivity. Okay, okay. So go ahead and ping that. Unreachable. That's fine. All right, now the next thing is we're going to do this called a curl, HTTPS. So we're going to secure, and basically it's just going to let us know if the connection, if we get a connection, and it's going to give us a certain code that it wants us to look at, which I'm seeing here, which is a code of 200, indicating a successful connection. So right here, we have our code, and that's okay. So once you see the 200 code, when you're looking up like certain websites, then you know that the website's good and the code's good. All right, let's go ahead and continue. I don't know what that is. Hit next. All right. Select the following button to create a scenario. Okay, let's create a scenario. A user has reported an issue with Office PC. Okay, so let's go ahead and change this to Office PC. Give it a second. This machine should be receiving a similar configuration to IT admin. Okay, so it kind of wants the same setup. So we're going to go into the Ethernet settings and see what is set up for this. The user has reported that the browser, they can browse the websites on the internet but cannot access the local web server, which is hosted on the app server. Verify the reported issues and apply appropriate solutions. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be going into like 2 different servers here. All right, so same setup here. We'll just do that. Enter the same password. P, capital P, lowercase a, 55, D, 0. Hold on, I did get that wrong, but it's just password. P-A-W-O-R-D, exclamation. There we go. It's confusing myself. All right, so what does it want us to do? Verify. So DHCP. So it's already telling me pretty much the answer, but let's go ahead and go to the terminal and just take a look. So IP config, something that already looks off already. IP config all. Okay. Yep. So our DNS server is not correct. So let's go into our network. Open network setting. Okay, we're going to go to Ethernet. We're going to click on the add corp. We're connected. We got to see we're on manual. That's our problem. Okay, we got to change that to DHCP. So let's go ahead and change that. save it. And honestly, that probably, this should change. So let's see. There we go. That's what we're looking for right there. All right, so let's go down here. We're done with this step because we got the connection to work. It's up and running now. Check your work, run the test on the office machine, which we are on the office machine. We're going to ping that. And we are good on that end. We'll go ahead and ping the IT admin, which we should be good too. Yep. And see, we got sent for, received for, and 0 lost. We're going to ping the app server. Okay, we're in the same thing here. Sent for, received for. And we'll go ahead and just click these because it's there, and I don't know if that's actually going to check it, but we'll go ahead and do it anyways. Status code 200, so we know that site is good. And did it print out? Yeah. Where's it at? Is it that one? Yes, it is. Status code 200. Okay, so we're good. Let's go ahead and evaluate. So, checking task completion, checking for hint use. If you use a hint, you will get marked down. I think it's like you lose a whole 10 points, I believe. And then if you retry, I can't remember, I believe you lose like 5 points. So like if you try to do this and one of these fails, and if you don't fix it before you hit evaluate, it'll give you a, like you got it wrong, and you would have to redo this entire thing over again. So make sure you're reading this properly because some of these can be confusing in the way it's worded. So, okay, we're good there. Bonus mark for first attempt to work. All right, next. All right, troubleshoot the Linux network issue. All right, so now it looks like we're going to be going into the git add corpnet.xyz. All right, so let's go ahead and start it up. And that's while we're starting up, we'll go ahead and just switch on over to the git. And okay, we got to log in. And what's the login password? Or right here, user git. So, and then it even says it right here. I forgot to mention this, but if you forget, you do have everything right here. So git, and then the same password. All right, we're in. Now that we're in, let's read this here. You might need to, okay, this machine is defined using the etc network interface. All right, so let's do that. etc network interfaces is permissions denied. Okay, well, since we are using a Linux server, we have to download it using sudo. So sudo nano, and then we can do the etc.network/interfaces. Okay, so it's asking for the password again. Remember, it's going to be the same thing. Now we're in the nano like text editor. And what does it want us to do here? Okay, so is define configure the settings for ETH0. Where do we have ETH0? You just make sure you're looking carefully. So it looks like it might be this one. Configure settings for ETH0. The ETH1 adapter is used for grading scripts. Okay, no. Note that text is. Okay, so no, doesn't look like we got anything going on. We'll go ahead and scroll down. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't say it here, but let me see here. Let me read this real quick. Yeah, it doesn't say it. Okay, that's odd. I guess they want, hopefully you remember that setup. All right, but what basically you're going to do is you're going to change the static, because it's no longer static. We changed that earlier. It's going to be DHCP. And this, remember, it's a text editor, so you can write into it. And since these are wrong, we're just going to go ahead and delete them. Right? Just delete. And now we're done. We just hit Make sure. All right, so now that we got those deleted, we are done. And so like I said again, you would just hit Control on your keyboard, your personal keyboard. So Control O to write out, and then Control X to exit. When you hit Control O, you're gonna get this little white little bar at the bottom. Make sure you just hit Enter, and then you hit, once you get to this section, Control X to exit. And now we are going to run another sudo command. It doesn't say it here, but it's going to be sudo system ctl, and we want to restart the network. Restart networking. And you hit enter. There we go. Restarted the network. All right. Let's go ahead and scroll down here. Then we got, it wants us to select IT admin. So let's go to IT admin. We gotta log in again up here. Control. And then you go ahead and put the password in. All right. We're in. Assign Jamie password. Got that. Okay. Right click start. Terminal. We're already in the terminal. Go ahead. It will ping get, and it should find it. There we go. Because this is what we were doing in the Linux notepad there. All right. And now that is it. When you have checked your evaluate button. Okay. Everything's working. So let's go ahead and evaluate. Let's see what's going on. All right, perfect. Let's go next. And we are done. Let's see what we got. Are you sure you want this one for grading? Yes. And there you go. I hope this helps.